Good afternoon, everyone. I really am delighted to be a part of this exciting event, and I too want to extend my thanks to all the donors and congratulate the remarkable scholars who have received these awards. I'd like to take a little time this afternoon to tell you what has transpired between me and this extraordinary university for the past 67 years. Yes, 67. Don't worry, I'm not going to cover this year by year. I just skip over. But it all started in 1951. On September the 12th, 1951, I fell in love. It was a hot fall day, and I was standing in front of Stevens Hall, primed to register for my first semester of college classes. The 90-degree temperature did not deter me from wearing my new brown wool tweed suit that my mom and I had purchased especially for my first day in college. As I stood in front of the majestic Stevens Hall and looked up at the clock tower, I fell in love with this institution. And that love affair has continued for the past 67 years. And as with all ardent love affairs, it has grown stronger, more intense, and more passionate. Throughout those 67 years, I've just been blessed with countless gifts from Towson. First, State Teachers College at Towson gave me a stellar undergraduate education, an education that opened many, many doors for me in my professional career. And as many of you know, because there was such a need for teachers, if you taught in Maryland for 2 years after graduation, there was no tuition. And so I attended Towson tuition-free. Doesn't that sound good? And that was a tremendous benefit for my family. Another special gift that Towson gave me was the fact that I met my wonderful husband, Corb Bond, at Towson. I met Corb in Dr. Clark's psychology class when I was a sophomore and he was a junior. And after a proper 2-year courtship, we were married when I graduated in 1955. One of my sons, Jeff, often says, if it hadn't been for Towson, my parents would not have met, and my 3 brothers and I would not be here today. So I owe Towson for a beautiful marriage, for wonderful children, and spoken like a true grandmother, 8 fantastic grandchildren. All of my sons attended Lightly Tall classes and classes at Towson. One of my sons got his bachelor's here, and one of my daughter-in-laws. All because Towson was there for us. In 1960, Towson awarded the first graduate degree, and I was fortunate enough to be in that first graduating class. And because my name began for Bond, I was the first person to walk across the stage to receive my degree, and therefore, I am recognized as the first person to receive a graduate degree from Towson. Now, there's a funny story that goes with that. A couple of years ago, I was mentioning to my children and my grandchildren that I was the first person to get a degree. I thought I said graduate degree, but so anyway, after that, my 10-year-old grandson had to write something about his grandmother. And he wrote this essay and said, my grandmother was the first graduate of Towson. And the teacher came back and said, Michael, I don't think so. That was a very long time ago. And he said, you don't know my grandmother. She's very old. But it was of the graduate program in 1960 and not of the undergraduate program. I began teaching kindergarten at Lyda Lee Tall Elementary School and went on to spend 32 years in the College of Education as a faculty member and as an administrator. And during that time, can you imagine 32 years, all those classes, I had an opportunity to teach hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of future teachers and make numerous lifetime friends among my colleagues. When I was growing up, my parents were immigrants from Italy, and there were three things that they emphasized: service to others and give back, Francesca, they used to say. And my father used to say, get an education, Francesca, they can't take that away from you. And so I grew up with those three principles as part of my life. So when I retired from Towson, the students, the colleagues, and friends established the Francis T. Bond Distinguished Service Award in my honor. And the award has been endowed, and every year, I really have been humbled and honored to give that award to students. I'm awesome at the kinds of things that they contribute for community service. It's really beautiful. I'm sure by now you can understand why I feel that I owe so much to Towson. Towson has indeed given countless blessings to me and my family. And by being a part of the giving community is one way I can demonstrate my appreciation and show my support for the students who will graduate and go on to do wonderful, wonderful things. And I promise you all today, as I promised before, I will continue to support Towson in any and every way that I can. I only hope that one day I'll be able to close the gap between all that Towson has given to me and what I have given to Towson. Thank you.